of the Senate Higher Education Finance Policy Committee to order. Today is Tuesday, February 20th. Yes, go ahead, Commissioner.
Oh, thank you. Good afternoon once again, Chair Rarick and members. For the record, my name is Dennis Olsen, and I serve as the Commissioner of the Minnesota Office of Higher Education. I want to thank you for the opportunity to join the committee today to share the governor's supplemental budget recommendations. And I believe Nikki's going to pull up the slide deck here so you have a visual to match probably what you have in front of you to be able to follow along. There we go. Thanks, Nikki. All right, well, once again, thank you. The budget recommendations that I'm going to share today are split into two main categories. The first category includes a handful of budget proposals recommended by the governor that aim to further center support for children and families. Next slide, please. The first proposal I want to discuss relates to the underrepresented teacher grant program. The governor recommends increased funding in the amount of $800,000 to expand and administer the underrepresented student teacher grant program. This program seeks to reduce the financial barriers that eligible students from underrepresented communities face when completing a required 12-week student teaching experience. And this happens by providing a grant up to $7,500 for that teacher candidate. These experiences often require a student to leave their current employment or reduce their hours in order to complete their student teaching requirement. And this student teaching requirement is usually an unpaid experience. So as a result, individuals may not complete a teacher preparation program because they're not financially able to provide for themselves or their families during this 12-week period without any income. And the current appropriation for this program is insufficient to award all eligible students the maximum award amount of $7,500. So awarded students receive grants during one term in which the student is completing their required 12-week or more student teaching experience. So the program's intent is to encourage individuals who belong to a racial or ethnic group underrepresented in the Minnesota teacher workforce to become teachers. The next slide, please. The second proposal relates to the grants to student teachers in shortage areas. And for this particular proposal, the governor is recommending an increased funding amount of $3 million to expand and administer the Student Teachers in Shortage Area Grant Program. This program provides post-secondary financial assistance to eligible students enrolled in Minnesota teacher preparation programs who are working in teacher shortage areas, primarily serving in greater Minnesota. Awarded students receive a grant, again, of up to $7,500 during the term in which they're completing their required student teaching experience. And these grants reduce financial impact to students who must leave or reduce their employment while they complete student teaching. Like the other proposal above, the current appropriation for this program is also not sufficient to award all eligible students at that maximum award amount. Next slide, please. The governor recommends increased funding in the amount of $700,000 to expand and administer the teacher shortage loan repayment program as well. The teacher shortage loan repayment program provides student loan debt relief in the form of annual repayment awards of up to 5 years to eligible teachers working in designated teacher shortage areas. There's currently a demand that's greater than the existing appropriation can currently support. For fiscal year 2022, the Office of Higher Education received 440 applications from eligible teachers. However, the Office of Higher Education anticipates only awarding 194 at the existing appropriation level. So this is an opportunity to be able to award all eligible students up to the maximum award amount. Next slide, please. For the Minnesota State Grant Program, specifically, the governor is recommending an increased investment of $14.8 million for the Minnesota State Grant Program in order to modify existing eligibility requirements. The particular recommendation promotes continued affordability of Minnesota's post-secondary education system for not only low-wage working adults, but also middle-income families. And as a reminder, more than 40% of Minnesota State Grant recipients are students of color and American Indian students. Can you go back a slide? Sorry. Thank you. This proposal for the Minnesota State Grant Program modifies the program eligibility requirements, in two ways. The first is that credits in which a student has received $1 or more in state grant aid by term will count towards their lifetime eligibility. And the second eligibility requirement change allows students to qualify for a state grant
Recording in progress.
For up to 10 semesters or equivalent of grant receipt. Next slide, please, Nikki. So this proposal is specific for the Tribal College Supplemental Grant Assistance Program. And the governor here is recommending increased funding in the amount of $1.7 million to expand and administer the Tribal College Supplemental Grant Assistance Program. And the goal here is to support Minnesota tribal colleges by defraying the costs associated with all Minnesota resident students, regardless of their status as enrolled members of federally recognized Indian tribes. Minnesota's tribal colleges are, of course, valuable assets to their tribes, their local communities, and of course the state. And this proposal seeks to align the funding for Minnesota tribal colleges with the per FTE state support amount of Minnesota public institutions. Next slide, please.
Recording stopped.
The governor recommends funding in the amount of $6.9 million to establish and administer a new program specifically designed to support student parent centers on campuses across institutions in Minnesota. The program aims to provide campus support and resources to address the unique needs of expectant parenting college students. And specifically, the funds will provide competitive grants to create new programs and build capacity of existing programs that support student parents. Student parents, as you know, face multiple barriers to college enrollment, persistence, and completion. And research shows that they benefit from holistic supports, including specialized advising, intentional creation of cohorts and support groups, access to assistance with navigating applications for public benefit programs, and campus-based programs like career and personal counseling. The challenges facing expectant parents and parenting students were further magnified, of course, by the COVID-19 pandemic, and the re-enrollment and new enrollment rates for this specific population have declined significantly since March of 2020. Next slide, please. The governor is recommending increased funding in the amount of $731,000 to expand and administer the Emergency Assistance for Post-Secondary Students Grant Program. The program provides financial resources to students experiencing unexpected immediate financial hardships that may prevent them from continuing their post-secondary education. In fiscal year 2022, the Office of Higher Education received significantly more applications than the current appropriation could support. The increased appropriation will meet existing demand and will also expand the number of institutions currently participating in the Emergency Assistance Grants Program. Next slide, please. This is a new one-time program proposed by the governor, and with application fees ranging from $20 to over $55, and coupled with the fact that prospective students will often apply to multiple colleges, the cost of applying can add up quickly and discourage students from completing the college application process. And so the governor here is recommending funding a pilot program in the amount of $10 million to eliminate college application fees for undergraduate post-secondary applications through this new program, the College Application Fee Waiver Program. And funds from for this program will be used specifically to coordinate and administer a pilot program to waive application fees for Minnesota's public, private nonprofit, and tribal colleges in Minnesota. And Before I move on to the next section here, I did want to provide an update on a program that passed last session and is set to roll out this fall. And there's a technical no-cost change related to the Fostering Independence Higher Education Grants. The program passed last year, and this is specifically related to the admin costs. The governor's proposing a change to address a technical error in the program that was created last session. Specifically, the amount appropriated by the legislature.
Recording stopped.
As denoted in the fiscal note,
progress.
Included the program administrative costs in fiscal 23, but the language permitting the Office of Higher Education to utilize those funds was accidentally omitted in the appropriations bill. And so the change here doesn't result in increased expenditures, but adds the necessary language for the Office of Higher Education to use the funds appropriated for administrative expenses in fiscal year 23 as originally intended. So just wanted to note that for a chair in the committee. So the next two budget proposals recommended by the governor are aimed at expanding economic opportunity and serve to continue to support the economic vitality of the state. Specifically here, the governor is recommending an expansion to the dual training programs. This is a recommendation of additional funding in the amount of $2 million to expand and administer the dual training competency grant program and the Department of Labor Industry Pipeline Program. The additional funding will allow programs to meet existing demand as well as expand eligibility to two critical and high need industries, specifically childcare and early childhood education, as well as transportation. And the Department of Labor and Industry Pipeline Program, as you well know, works with industry councils to identify competency standards necessary for employment in specific occupations. And the dual training grant program component of this helps employers fill critical vacancies, provide training for their workforce, and support trainees in earning industry recognized degrees, certificates, or credentials. Specifically, this program reimburses grantees for the costs of tuition, fees, required books, and any required materials of their Earn While You Learn trainees. The dual training grant appropriations have not been sufficient, unfortunately, to meet the current application requests. Just as an example, application requests for the previous grant round were around $3.7 million, but only $2.7 million was available in the current appropriation. And unfortunately, as a result, 15 of the 64 applications were not funded, and an additional 13 were only partially funded. So this is an opportunity to not only grow the number of industry areas that the grant can support, but also additional industry partners can be brought on and supported as well. Next slide. And finally, the governor is recommending increased investments in the total amount of $82 million for both public higher education systems. Specifically for the University of Minnesota, the governor is recommending funding for two key components of the total budget request from the University of Minnesota. First, related to increasing access to the university by reducing the cost of attendance burden. The governor is recommending funding in the amount of $38 million to address the University of Minnesota's goals to continue to attract, educate, and graduate students, and to reduce the financial barriers to student achievement. This proposal seeks to achieve that goal by targeting aid to those students who most need support to offset tuition, fees, and other costs of attendance, as well as creating a new scholarship program specifically supporting students from greater Minnesota system campuses. Second, related to the increasing access to the university through enhanced student services proposal, the governor is recommending funding in the amount of $5 million for the University of Minnesota to address the growing need for increased student support services. The university's system-wide strategic plan outlines specific goals to increase student outcomes, including retention, graduation, mental health, and campus climate, while addressing equity gaps that exist for low-income and Black, Indigenous, and people of color students. At the current funding levels, it does not have the financial capacity to fully respond to student demand for these services related to personal well-being and academic success, which have increased during the COVID-19 pandemic. And specifically for Minnesota State, The governor is also recommending funding for two key components of the total budget request from the Minnesota state system. First, related to campus responsiveness and stabilization, the governor recommends support in the amount of $24 million for Minnesota state campuses, providing operating funds they need to continue offering high quality, affordable education programs throughout the state. And the funding in this proposal would provide an additional opportunity for operating funds to support Minnesota State's core education programs in light of COVID-19 disruptions. And secondly, related to the equity and affordability measure that directly supports students' critical needs, the governor is recommending funding in the amount of $15 million at Minnesota State to address critical needs that stand in the way of the college and university students pursuing and completing their educational programs. So this proposal will protect access and affordability for students, will provide all Minnesota State students with access to a variety of mental health support options, will address workforce gaps through innovative career, technical, and professional programming, serving business and industry, and will provide all Minnesota State students with access to a statewide basic needs resource hub to connect to resources on campus, as well as in the local community and statewide. And Mr. Chair and members, that concludes my presentation. Thank you again for the opportunity to address the committee here with the governor's budget recommendations, and I'll be happy to stand for any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Commissioner. And was there any other testimony other than yours that we were going to get from the agency?
Mr. Chair, no. However, we do have some staff on hand that'll be able to assist me in answering any specific questions that may come up.
Very good. Thank you. Members, any questions for Commissioner Olsen? Senator Clausen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Commissioner Olsen, for sharing pretty comprehensive program here you're looking at. I do have a question about the $10 million waive college application fees, which is to be, as I understand here, a pilot program. Could you talk about what is the extent of the pilot program? Are you looking at all, let's say, Minnesota State systems, or are you looking at, could you elaborate on that just a little bit?
Commissioner Olsen.
Yeah, Mr. Chair and Senator Clausen, yes, the proposal is seeking to waive application fees not only at institutions that are members of both the public systems, but the nonprofit privates and tribal colleges as well. The proposal will support about 26,000 students in waiving their application fees, and colleges may seek funding to offset revenue losses as a result, and so that is built into the pilot projection in the budget as well.
Senator Clausen. Oh, you muted yourself, Senator.
There we go. Thanks for that explanation. I was just wondering the pilot program, just how extensive it would be. I do have another question having to do with the Minnesota State grant modifications. This is going to support about 8,000 students, 14.8 million. Could you give us an idea about, there we go. Can you give us an idea about what would the average award be if this were to be implemented for those 8,000 students?
Commissioner Olsen.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair and Senator Greg Clausen. May turn it over to Meredith Fergus. I don't have those specific numbers in front of me of what the average award increase would be. And if we don't have that available, that's something we can certainly pass along.
Ms. Fergus, if you have that, can you please identify yourself for the record and answer our question?
Thank you, Senator Barrick. For Commissioner Olsen and Senator Clausen, for the record, this is Meredith Fergus, Director of Research and SLEDs for the Office of Higher Education. I actually don't have it in front of me. I was hoping Nikki would, but we can definitely get those for you.
Ms. Oliver, any chance you have that?
For the record, my name is Nicole Oliver. I'm the Director of Grants and Government Relations for the Office of Higher Education, and I do have that number. The average grant award for these students would be about $3,600.
Thank you. Senator Clausen, follow up?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Of that $3,600, what would be the increase? In other words, what would be the increase of the 14.8 million to an average award?
Ms. Oliver?
So, Chair, members, this change is actually increasing the length of eligibility for the students. So it's not necessarily increasing the award amount. So students who, as it currently stands, the program, if you are at or almost at 120 credits, that's the maximum in which you could have for receiving state grant, whether or not you receive state grant for those 120 credits. This change will allow a student to receive state grant for 120 credits. So if they're at 120 credits and only, let's say 100 of those credits they receive state grant for, they could receive state grant for an additional 20 credits. So it's not actually increasing the award amount itself, just the length of time a student can receive state grant.
Senator
Another
Clausen?
follow-up? Thank you, Mr. Chair. Have you run the numbers? If you took the 14.8 million and spread it across the 77,500 students, what the award would be?
Ms. Oliver?
Sorry, Chair, Senator Clausen, I'd have to get back to you on that. Like I said, the average award amount based on the eligible 8,000 students would be about 3,600. Obviously, that would differ depending on the student eligibility and their adjusted family gross income and all of that. So there could be a range of award amounts per student. So I can follow up on your specific question later.
Thank you.
Anything else, Senator Clausen?
No, that was it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Getting back to the waiving of the application fees, Commissioner, as you were thinking about any of that, was there any consideration of the type of a way for a student to apply once and that to go out to all the institutions under one rather than doing something like this?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, thank you for the question. Yeah, that's certainly a consideration and something we hope to learn, through the pilots. We have discussed not only internally, but as well with institutions, about implementing a common application with one fee. This would, be able to waive that fee as well. And that is something that's currently in discussion through the implementation of a program passed last session, the direct admissions pilot program. And so could be a component of this as well. But, we do know that students are encouraged to apply to multiple institutions, and those application fees, do add up, particularly if they're applying to institutions, within different systems, whether they be public or private, not-for-profit. So, may be difficult to wrap all of those into one common application, but certainly something, we're willing to take a look at.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yeah, I'll get to you. Another one in regards to when you talked about the one of the new programs around the student parent center grants and talking about how that will help folks who have difficulty making it to college. We have a proposal as well from Western Governors University for the ability to receive grants if you're doing online programs. Is that something that the governor and the agency is considering as well?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. No, not at this time. The governor's not recommending any policy action around Western Governors.
Thank you. And one last question in regards to, it's on the final page of the bill. And it's we're deleting the part where a post-secondary institution applying for a grant must provide a 50% match for the grant funds. Can you explain a little bit about what that is doing, why we're getting rid of a match completely, why we wouldn't keep a little bit of a match, or can you just help us understand what that piece is?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe you're referring to the match required for the concurrent enrollment grants. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to turn it over to Nikki to be able to explain that requirement change.
Very good. Ms. Oliver.
Chair, committee members, just for a point of clarification, I know you asked the commissioner if anyone was from our agency was going to testify as well. We do have testimony on the policy bill is what I think you're referring to, which we did not walk through yet. And that change to a match is actually to the concurrent enrollment grant, like the commissioner stated. The original language last year, as it was introduced, included allowable use of the grant for teacher training. And if an institution or applicant was applying to use the funds for that, they would be required to have a match. That was removed from the bill that was passed. It was an oversight that the language for the match wasn't removed. There was never a match required for the other pieces of the bill originally. So it actually references the teacher language that isn't even in the bill at all. That's the division. So it's a technical change technically. So.
Thank you. Senator Putnam, you have a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have two sort of clarifying questions, I guess. The first of which is on the waiving the college application fees. I'm assuming that only applies to Minnesota residents, or is it at the institutions in themselves? I mean, I'm hoping we can still stick it to Wisconsin kids.
Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator Putnam, that's my understanding as well, as it's limited to Minnesota residents, but I'll have to clarify that for you.
And then thank you, Commissioner Olsen, and thanks, Mr. Chair. The other question that I had for clarification was the rationale for the modification in the state grant time period extension. I'm assuming that has to do with students who are working and who might have to take a semester off and might require 10 semesters to finish their degree, as opposed to the 8 that was prior. My question is, one, is that an accurate understanding of the motivation behind this change? And two, do we know how many people this is going to help?
Commissioner.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair, and Senator Putnam. Yeah, we recognize that many bachelor's degrees programs today, often require a student to take more than the 120 credits to complete, and allowing this cap increase will provide really that additional financial aid eligibility to students. This is also an opportunity for, like you had mentioned, the returning adult students to actually potentially finish their degrees as well. As a student may have completed a 2-year degree, may have taken courses that they may not have needed, as part of that degree, and are now on a potential new career trajectory that requires them to take some additional courses. And so, the proposal really is to ensure that anyone, pursuing a career change or a potential pivot there to come back and complete their degree has the opportunity for full financial aid eligibility.
Any follow-up? All right. I don't see any other member questions. Commissioner, was I understanding you've got someone else maybe doing some policy for us, or is that the end of your presentation?
Yeah, Senator Rarick, that is the I guess unofficial end of my presentation, but yeah, Nikki did indicate we do have a small policy bill as well with some technical changes proposed, and I'm not sure your desire, whether it's to have Ms. White walk through quickly the overview, and we can provide any clarifying statements. Otherwise, we could quickly walk through as well. Ms. Oliver would be happy to do that.
If you're prepared, I believe we've got the time here. We can do that today.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Nikki, would you like to do a walkthrough of the policy bill?
I can, Senator. Senators and Chair Rarick, in front of you, I believe you have Senate File 3093, which is the agency policy bill, which is a lot smaller than our normal policy bills. I will be brief, and if there's questions, I hope I can answer those questions. I do have a few of our staff on hand to also answer any questions you may have. So Section 1 and 2 is dealing with data collection from institutions participating in financial aid programs from the agency. Currently, the statute only requires certain data for institutions participating solely in state grant and self-loan program, but there are institutions that participate in all other financial aid from the agency, and we just want to make sure those institutions are captured in the data that they are providing to the agency, so we get a full picture, and that we get the same amount of data that all other institutions are providing. That's what those changes are doing. The Section 3, we are clarifying and cleaning up statutes for the reasons of exemptions. By doing this, no entities will lose their exemption status, as we currently are operating under these clarifications, but having it clear in statutes will help for a smoother process. The licensing and registration teams have to spend a lot of time re-explaining explaining this often to institutions because it's not super clear in the statute. So if it's clear in the statute, it would make for a smoother process. We're also making clear the relationship with other state agencies and these exemptions, as eligibility for specific services they provide also rely on the exemptions provided through our office. We hope that the clearer language will make it easier to work with entities and also broaden some of the categories, so we are not regulating things that have less need for consumer protections. The other sections, sections 4, I believe it is referring to the concurrent enrollment grant. As it was written, we wanted to incorporate language that was allowing the funds to be used for multiple reasons. As I stated earlier, some of those reasons were removed, and we were left with the two existing reasons, which was creating new sections within the same high school, or offering existing courses in new high schools. It also stated or supporting the preparation and recruitment and success of students who are underrepresented in concurrent enrollment programs. We are changing that to an and. We feel like it should be tied to one of the existing uses of the program instead of just a standalone. Otherwise, it would be better used as a separate kind of grant program. So we're just changing that or to an and. I've already talked about the kind of match piece. And lastly, there's a repealer. This is due to some language changes we made last session. So that rule 4880.2500 is now obsolete because we repealed Minnesota statutes 136A 823 subdivision 2 last year. So that rule is no longer necessary. So that's kind of the brief of the policy bill, and I stand for questions.
Thank you, Ms. Oliver. I know you answered the one I had, but basically, yeah, this is just all cleanup. There's nothing new being presented. You're just kind of cleaning up things from we did last year. Is that correct?
Chair Rarick, correct.
Thank you. Senator Clausen, I see your hand up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A question about the concurrent enrollment grant awards. Item 3 that I'm looking at is to support the preparation, recruitment, and success of students who are unrepresented in concurrent enrollment classrooms. Will you have additional funding available for schools that apply for a grant and that would support that initiative?
Is that for Commissioner Olsen or is that for Ms. Oliver?
Let's start with Miss Oliver.
Chair Rarick, Senator Clausen, are we also asking for additional funding for that part of the change? Or are you asking if within the existing appropriation, will we allocate additional funding for institutions or applicants that apply that do that second portion?
Senator Clausen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I perceive that item to be something that's been added. It hasn't been there in the past. And therefore, I really think that there should be additional funding available to fund those initiatives. So I'm saying, are there additional funds that are going to be available in an award for schools so that they can accomplish that goal?
Ms. Oliver.
Chair Rarick, Senator Clausen, we have seen the reason we had proposed additional uses for the funds is because of the low number of applications we have received for the concurrent enrollment grant. So to answer your question, we have, I feel, adequate funding within the existing appropriation based on the number of applicants we've received in the past to be able to fund that additional use. As I mentioned before, this was actually passed last year. We're not adding this. We're just changing it and making it an and. Yes, I think the answer is a yes. There is already funding available. We're not requesting additional funding.
Right.
Senator Clausen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I've seen the numbers and I recognize that not all those funds are being used. And my question was just to make sure that we can adequately support schools by using those additional funds to accomplish the support and preparation, recruitment, and success of students who are underrepresented. So thank you for that response.
All right, members, I am not seeing any other questions. Commissioner, do you have any closing comments you would like to make on both the budget and the policy provisions?
Mr. Chair and members, no additional comments other than to once again thank you for the opportunity to share the governor's budget recommendations here, as well as policy recommendations. We're happy to bring a policy bill that primarily addresses technical changes to language already passed, and as well as a supplemental budget request from the governor that I feel is hyper targeted on existing programs and really addressing unmet needs, and this is a great opportunity to be able to fulfill the intent of many of those programs that the legislature has helped to establish and develop and support. So appreciate the time of the committee today and look forward to further time throughout the session.
All right, and then thank you very much for being here to make the presentation and to answer our questions. With that, I think we are going to lay Senate File 3093 on the table for possible inclusion or to be brought up later. And I do not believe we have any other business in front of us. So with that, we are adjourned.